Say Anything came out in April of 1989. It was directed by first-time director Cameron Crowe, which was written by him as well.
All my instincts, they return.
There, it's that movie. And like a lot of people my age, we saw all the references to this iconic moment before seeing the scene itself. I love Say Anything so much, and it both fits into the iconography of 80s teen comedies perfectly, while also standing outside of those films at the same time. A lot of that has to do with the main character. He starts out a good guy and ends up a good guy. He's not some slimy weirdo just in it to put it in them, but he's a genuinely good-hearted person. One of the rarities. Lloyd Dobler gives the opportunity for the audience to see an actual tender and real look at relationships. He's about like an in-betweener. He's the son of military parents that aren't ever around. He's a year older than everyone else in his grade, and everyone seems to know that he doesn't know exactly what to do after high school, even though Lloyd seems to embrace that.
I got statistics I can show you, I have graphs I can show you, I got all the stuff I can show you. It all says the same thing. You have to decide on a career.
It's also different because it's maybe one of the least problematic films thinking from a 2022 perspective. There are no wildly racist characters or stereotypes, no degrading depictions of women and non-consensual sex. Cameron Crowe and crew set out to make something different from all of the other films of the time. Along with an outstanding main character, it also helps his friends are good people too. Mostly women. I'm not going to come to any conclusions about that because if you get it, you get it. The film acts the same way about this too. Lloyd's best friends are girls and they are envious of how well he treats Diane. At one point, Corey says that the world is full of guys and that Lloyd needs to be a man, not another guy. At this point in the story, Lloyd's upset, so he doesn't really listen to her, and he thinks that he needs advice from other guys. So we then hear how some of the guys think he should go about getting Diane back.
Man, all you gotta do is find a girl that looks just like her, nail her, and then dump her, man. Get her off your mind.
Your only mistake is that you didn't dump her first. Diane Court is a show pony. You need a stallion, my friend. Walk with us and you walk tall.
Walk tall, my man.
Bitches, man.
You can give that kid a compliment.
Hey, dude, I better bail.
Later for you, Luke.
Corey's just a fun character too, having her share of problems in the beginning that's played for laughs, but we can see she can be independent and grow on her own. Lloyd's not an easily described character. He's quiet but not afraid to say what he wants. He struggles to articulate sometimes, but he's not a geek. And not a total jock, even though he endearingly endorses kickboxing. It feels like all of the sane guys will look up to Lloyd. Some will think that's me on screens. And some will see that his purity is harder than just calling yourself a nice guy. One of the things that are set up from the start is that Lloyd doesn't really know what to do in life. His teachers are harping on him to double down and make a decision, whether that be college or not.
Everybody in that party put something on their record except you.
How many of them really know what they want, though? I mean, a lot of them think that they have to know, right? But inside they don't really know, so I don't know. But I know that I don't know.
And when he meets Diane's father and his friends, you can see their disapproval when he tells them his plans for the future. It's a bit of a hilarious but genuine role reversal. Lloyd says his job this summer is to go out with Diane, and that's it. And by the end, it looks like that will be his life job. This is not unlike many women of the past romantic comedies that get married, and that's their job, to be a wife. It's kind of funny to see these roles reversed, but it's sweet at the same time. Diane's the brain of the two of them. She'll make the bucks, and that's okay. Then there's Diane Court, the school brain trapped in the body of a game show hostess. She's one of those people that took school seriously, and you can see her father influenced her. I don't want to draw lines to King Richard, but what the hell. Diane's father had her life planned out from the beginning, essentially, in terms of getting into a prestigious school to set her up for life, just like Richard did with his tennis daughters. Ione Skye plays it perfectly, being that one person in school that didn't realize how much her life was devoted to homework until her last day. I love the scene when the girls are talking about how Diane could fall for a person like Lloyd. Then they take a moment to think on it, and unanimously, it makes sense to them. The main conflict in the film is trying to get out of her father's control. He has such an influence on her and gaslights her into breaking up with Lloyd. It's an extreme version here, but it's relatable nonetheless, in contrast to Lloyd's home life, where he's living with his older sister and her kid.
Now, work that bag, work that bag, J-Man. Left hook, hook off the jab. Straight left hand. What do we love?
Pain!
There's that great scene about the pen. I gave her my heart, she gave me a pen. Where Lloyd turns into Travis Bickle for a minute, but not really even, because he never tips over the edge and starts blaming her. He calls her over and over again, which might be harassing, but he's never degrading her at any point. He never stoops that low because that's just not who he is. They only get back together once Diane and her father split, and she has no one else to turn to. And Lloyd probably has his lowest moment when he asked if she needed him or just someone. And then he goes, I don't care. I'm lucky enough to be that someone, so I'll be him. The big hang-up of the film is if you can find any sort of enjoyment out of this tax fraud plotline with her father. Diane and her father have a very different relationship from the get-go. He's more of a friend than a father, and I'd say that's the reason why he doesn't like Lloyd. Not because he's thinking like a father and afraid he can't support her, but because he's thinking like a friend and sees Lloyd as taking away his friend. It's shown as a sweet relationship at the start. The title of the film stems from these two and how open they are with one another. But he's apparently frauding insurance money after the people in his retirement home pass on. He's not making millions off of it, but enough to get the IRS's attention. It's like they felt they had to double down and make her father a criminal and really drive his disapproval of Lloyd once more before the end of the film. Say Anything is the 80s last great teen comedy. Not because it came out in the last year of that decade, but because it might be one of the best to define them all and has aged the best. It's got heart, a whole lot of heart. None of that false charm BS. It has real heart, and that comes from Cameron and the actors, I think, mostly. They are what set it all apart. Play Peter Gabriel once and you can't stop, I dare you. Thanks for taking a look. Trying to find these slightly older films that when people see the title, they think, you know what, that kind of sort of was underrated. I'm going to take a look at that again. Next, I think I will be looking at a Cannes Festival winner from the same year that this came out. This has been Andrew. See ya.